Alright, the truck's done, but it's not done. I've been calling this a cursed truck and asking for a Catholic priest to come over here and bless this thing. It just has been giving me consistent little irritating problems, but it's ready to roll in theory again. I've been kind of dreading doing this, but you know what, if I'm going to do it, I need to just kind of finish this thing up. And I've been promising it a different set of fenders because I've got them. But the history on this little truck is that it is an old Santa Fe Railroad truck. That's why we have all the tools on it. This is all Ashton Topeka Santa Fe Railroad gear that's all over this thing. Multiple steam whistles, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, these fenders have always been real rough. I put 5 inches in these things. If you didn't know, this truck began life as a dually, 147-inch wheelbase. I cut it down to 109 inches and put it a lot closer to the ground. So there's more work here than just a crusty old truck. I built the boards from scratch, did some fillers for the fenders because I didn't like the aprons. The aprons used to stick out from the truck. I moved them in so that I get a wider stance with everything that I built. So I've been dreading doing this. Got another set of fenders, but I've got to cut those, put 5 inches in those. I've got another set of front fenders. I'm not super sure that they are correct or not, but we will take a look at that. Since people have a hard time paying attention to anything for more than 30 seconds, I'll try to do a short video clip of, I don't know, just still photos. And the rest of this may take a few days. So let's move on with the project. All right, explanation video. So, you see I put this little dip on each side. I'm going to overlap this thing so that when I split those fenders down the center, it's going to give it a little extra strength. There'll be a weld from this side and just tack welds over here. So, one on the back side, one on the top side. Now, these things are about as flat as it gets. I'm not going to put any curve in it. This is all about just getting them wide. This is supposed to be a Depression era truck. It was an old work truck. It's exactly what it is. So that's the intention of this thing. So I'm not even trying for pretty. I'm just making it happen. This will make them a lot stronger by adding this. There's not a lot that actually supports this. As you can see, they just bolt on from the back. And then down where the running board is. That's it. There's no other support to these fenders. So they were wobbly in the first place. Now I'm going to make them 5 inches wider. So by doing this lip, it will give it strength. And again, it's just supposed to be an old work truck. The whole idea is that it's crusty. So there's number one. So it's not hard for this thing to get out of shape. So if you notice, I was taking time to twist it back and forth as we were going, and it's not hard for this to get a little from one side to the other. and it'll get wobbly on you. So you have to take your time and put this together. I know people that would just go ahead and throw mud at this primer and move along with their day. I'm not going to bother filling every seam of that. That's a long way to have to go. But this is good enough for a little work truck. Again, the whole point was it's just an old work truck. You know, the work that you'd see some guy that was running around in it, fixing it real fast, throwing it together, and getting on to the next thing. So, anyways, there's one to go. But I think it's time for lunch. There it is, 2 pair of fenders. Well, a pair of fenders. So they're shaped correctly. Didn't get all wonky. And they're wider. They are a lot stronger than the ones that are on it currently. So, yay! Maybe tomorrow I will grab the other front fenders and see what I want to do with those. They're going to need some banging and patching and so on and so forth. But maybe by next weekend we'll have all of this done together. I know there's 3 different guys that cringed when I cut those fenders. There's the guy who's widened fenders and had a bad time with it, and there's a guy who needed those fenders. And then there's the guy who's done both, who cut the fenders, screwed it up, and needed new fenders. Till next time.